Alright lads, so today we got an announcement of an upcoming banner that is releasing tomorrow. I rarely ever talk about banners like this, and by that I mean selection summons. Very rarely are banners like this ever worth talking about, and the only banners that are worth talking about are new ones and also reruns of actual banners. In this case, as stated by the name, it is a summons just selected of Stamritters. And with that, I kind of like the idea of it, and the filler pool itself, honestly, it really isn't that bad. Because what you have here is, in my opinion, 6 still really good characters, 7 really good characters in my opinion. The only 2 not so amazing characters are Menina and also the Mind Esno, but even then he's not even that bad. So with that in mind, if you are someone that is missing Stamritters or just likes Stamritters as a whole and wants to summon for them, it doesn't make it a bad banner. Fortunately for us too, the banner is releasing tomorrow and will be here until the 21st. So what this does mean right from the get-go, maybe do the 2 discounted steps if you like the banner, want the characters for example, but don't go too deep because on the 15th we are going to get a live stream revealing the upcoming pre-anniversary characters. And on the 15th, along with the announcement, we're also getting the release of said characters. So even if you are tempted to summon, I would say at the very least, just wait and see what the 15th is first and foremost before you decide to summon on this, because you can summon on the 15th and still summon on this later on. And we have no idea what the upcoming livestream is going to bring in terms of extra news. They did announce that they will be revealing some long-awaited news. Potential more character reveals, we have no idea. So again, even more reason to not summon on this day 1. Unfortunately though, at least for veterans that, maybe don't have the highest orb count, I think the timing of this battle, even if it is after the upcoming mid-month, is not the greatest, as veterans, especially with a limited orb source, should be saving every orb before the upcoming anniversary. So I feel like with that in mind, this should be an easy skip, maybe just the 2 steps. Even for someone like myself, right, I'm currently sitting on almost 9,000 orbs, but I'm very likely to summon on this upcoming mid-month at least 10 steps. Swimsuits are going to be end of month. Likely they get some orbs away from me. And then I do want to say for part 1 and 2 of the anniversary, so I don't really have orbs, even though I have almost 9k. I feel like I don't have orbs right now to summon on a banner like this. At the same time, personally, from a veteran standpoint, I'm okay with playing the waiting game. I mean, I do have most characters here, to be fair, but even if I want duplicates, or I do want a character like Robert and or Basby, I can always get them later on. That's one thing to keep in mind, even if you are a new player, is that all these characters here will rerun. Like, while it's great to maybe get them now on this particular banner, and I wouldn't blame you for summoning, especially if you're a new player with potential thousands of orbs to gather up, especially in time for the anniversary, remember, even though these characters are limited, they're not that limited. They will come back a lot in upcoming banners and also rerun. Like, if you miss out on any of these characters right now, don't worry, you would likely get them later on. Especially when it comes to Swimsuit Bambietta and the other Swimsuit Bambis, right? They've rerun a lot of times now at this point, and they will likely continue to do so. And the same will be said for basically all the characters here, because as far as the newer Blood War characters are concerned, Robert, Mask, Grammy, Basby, and also Candice, they are mid-month 1000-year Blood War units, so they're going to be even more common compared to end-of-month units. So just from the get-go, we'll talk about the characters in a second, but I do think this is actually a pretty decent banner. I wouldn't blame you for summoning. I just think right now for veterans, depending on your orb count, spend within reason. I, very least, might be doing 2 discounted steps, because that's all I want to do on a banner like this, because it would be great to get some of the characters that I'm missing, or duplicates of the characters that I do currently own. I don't think this is a must summon by any means, but if you are a potential new player that's missing out on a lot of Stamritters, maybe it is worthwhile. I mean, for the most part here, you have 9 Stamritter characters that you could potentially even use in Senkabon. I mean, I don't think anyone needs to actively summon for a certain affiliation, especially Stamritters that there will be plenty of. And again, if you don't have the characters right now, you will get them later on. But I guess in a way, the 9 characters that you can get from this banner, you can literally just take into this particular quest and likely beat all stages of this Senkabon quest. Keep in mind that the banner is working more so like a normal banner. Selection banners like this usually consist of 5 characters, but since there are 9 characters here, you have the 4.5% chance for a featured character that is any of these 9, so every character has a 0.5% rate, essentially normal rates. There is the unfeatured pull rate, so you could potentially get a non-stunner to keep that in mind at a 1.5% rate. You get discount every 5 steps, guaranteed every 5 steps, for example. So yeah, it's quite literally just a normal banner. Definitely not a banner to go deep on, but it's a decent budget banner if you only want to maybe do 5 steps, for example. But again, don't do that on day 1. Save that until after the 15th. But why would you want to summon in terms of the new characters here that are returning? First up, we have Candice. Most of these characters here, because they are mid-month units, were strictly designed in mind to be used in guild quests. Candice is an overall okay character. If you're a Candice fan, this is a good character to pick up. Keep in mind though, Candice will continue to get more characters in the future. we are still waiting for the Volstern Ditch versions of all the Bambis. And also a base version of Little Toe. But in her case, she is the best lead for the ranged Captain Guild quest. If you are lacking a good character for that phase, she will be a great character to pick up with the increased styles damage chance to inflict paralysis on every single attack. Other than that, she has an overall good damage output, Frenzy +3 in Guild quest, more damage to paralyzed enemies, and also an 80% spiritual pressure boost. The alternatives for this Guild quest phase, if you do not own Candice, are very lackluster. Only Bambietta and also 6 Annie Eisen, and they themselves, aren't too reliable nowadays. At the same time, if you do own a character like Esnot, the best normal attack damage character for this phase, he is also a QUINCY character that pairs very well with Candice. They go hand in hand because both of them have an increased chance to inflict paralysis. Throw on 9th anniversary Grammy alongside that, and you're going to get a really good team that is possible getting a really good score. And Bazby is a very similar character to Candice, in the sense that he also has Frenzy +3 in Guild Quest, increased styles damage chance, 80% SP boost, but he does 80% more damage to burning enemies. In my opinion, Bazby is a bit better because he has a more conventional killer, that being Sorry-Bum, and also has a better strong attack hit, especially with that SA3, as it is a trap effect. This does mean that if you are using him when he doesn't have killer against non-Soripers, you're still going to be reliably inflicting a status element, especially thanks to that SA3, as you are placing a pool of fire that any enemy walks into is going to get burned, where you're then doing 80% more damage. And right now, when it comes to the melee Soriper guild quest, there is quite a lot of good characters that you can use. Bazby, though, for the most part, should be the best lead that you can actually use as of right now, even though Giselle is placed above Bazby, considering that Giselle doesn't get as many buffs from 9th anniversary Grammy as, Bazby does, for example. Bazby should edge her out. Either way, both characters are good tier, and if you have Bazby, you can definitely use them in guild quests, especially when paired with 9th anniversary Grammy, and you're gonna like to hear me say that a lot for all the stun raters, because every stun rater gets better with Grammy. And speaking of Grammy once more, it's another guild quest phase that also has access to a normal attack damage character for this phase. That is another QUINCY. So if you are using 9th Annie Grammy, maybe Giselle, if you're using Giselle, and Grammy are going to get buffs here. And speaking of Grammy, right, he's the normal attack damage character for this phase too. Also in the banner, so if you are struggling on the melee Soriper guild quest, you have basically the best two options that you can use that work very well together. Grammy, on the other hand, though, is actually quite a special normal attack damage character for guild quest content. In a way, can be used outside of his melee Soriper phase, and it mainly is due to the way the character was designed with his SA1, 2, and also 3. His SA1 and 3 is a team boost, providing a different percentage increase of the attack, focus, and defense stat. We have a closer look here, you will see that his SA1, keep in mind this does not include the booster, so it says 18% attack, defense, and focus, but it is a tad bit higher, around 20+%. Had a 20-second cooldown, but also lasts 20 seconds, so essentially the idea with this character is that with him, you're always going to have a team boost, even if you don't give this character full recharge links. And that would therefore allow him to do more damage because you're likely stacking normal attack damage. Alongside that, his SA3 does get priority, in the sense that if the SA1 is active, which you will see from the time it's always active essentially, whenever he does decide to use the SA3, you're then getting a 40% attack, defense, and focus increase, but remember with the booster skill, it goes up to like 50%. And this boost lasts 25 seconds. It is on a 60-second cooldown, so it isn't always going to be active, but you're going to get quite a lot of time with this particular team boost. So if you're lacking a normal attack damage character for this guild quest phase, even if you are comfortable with Giselle, Ichigo, maybe even Yachiru, for example, Grammy does make quite the big impact as he is the team booster, while also having significantly more damage compared to any normal attack damage character for this guild quest phase. An additional character in this banner is Robert, very similar to Grammy, and the next character that we will talk about, he's just a normal attack damage character for a phase that in a way does actually need him, that being the ranged Aranka guild quest. If you're struggling in that guild quest, this character will make a big impact. He just does simple, consistent damage output, really cool strong attack hit, and game style, in my opinion, despite being a character like Robert designed for Guild Quest. But he's an overall fun character, good in GQ, and in a way right now, as far as the extra levels are concerned for Guild Quest content, maybe more important, as the ranged Aranka Guild Quest does lack really good leads. Right now, your best lead is Bambietta, and as far as Guild Quest strong attack damage characters are concerned, she's one of the worst out there. She's definitely going to get replaced soon, and that character will be significantly better, make this Guild Quest phase better. I wouldn't be surprised if the upcoming 10th anniversary brings us a new ranged Aranka killer, because the options here are just very lackluster. And that's why, in a way, it's more important that Robert is a good character, and he is, because you can see the damage output is night and difference compared to any normal attack damage character here, because he just does the most. I have access to a max transcendent Bambietta, and I would love to have Robert on my account, because it will be really good, especially when paired with Bambietta, because once more, another Quincy that is using 9th Anniversary Grammy as a support for a character like this, that desperately needs it too. So it's another Guild Quest phase where you can use Bambietta, you can use Robert, and then you can also throw a 9th Annie Grammy to get more damage for both Robert and also Bambietta. After that, we have Masculine. He's basically just a Robert for merely Stun Killer. That's simple. And for this Guild Quest phase, the best character you can use is Little Toto. So once more, another Guild Quest phase, right, where if you have the perfect team, you can use Little Toto, you can then use Masculine and pair them with, for example, 9th Annie Grammy, and both of them are dealing damage. It's also important to note that Masculine is very great to have for this phase because they do lack normal attack damage options. I mean, every character here just doesn't have a good damage output whatsoever. And that's why when you look at the damage numbers compared to anyone else, Masculine is dealing like 5 times the damage. So very important character to have, in my opinion, someone that's going to last quite a while, especially as we maybe continue to get more Guild Quest leads that consist of Stun characters. Now, we spoke about these characters a lot in the past, so we're just going to breeze through these ones. Swimsuit Bambietta, really cool unit. Cute swimsuit design, really good strong attack hit, still good in the melee Aranka Guild Quest, good in Limit Breaker. Overall, just a great character. Like, there's almost nothing bad about them, despite the fact that there are, you know, newer, better power creep units, but still holds up exceptionally well, in my opinion, despite almost being a year old. Meninia is a Brave Battle character with Flurry +3 for the first 10 seconds, more damage at low stamina, ignores invincibility. Overall, the good stuff that she has going for her. If she does grab the Subbum, she will apply Confusion and also debuff their stats, ensuring that your team does win the fight. She does more damage to captains, but keep in mind right now, we are potentially entering a new phase in the Brave Battle meta where characters need to have Ignore Persistence. Mila Rose recently introduced that, and you just know for certain every new upcoming Brave Battle character is going to have a skill like that. So over time, this character is just going to slowly phase out of the meta. Sanctu is an overall strong SP unit, good strong attack hit overall, more damage to frozen enemies, good damage output with the gauge effect that does lower the cooldown whenever the gauge activates and gives him an additional frenzy. In a way, the worst part about him is that he is a holo killer, which has access to some pretty good holo units already, but other than that, he's an overall strong character. And a pretty fun character too, especially in Senkamon content. And then Esnot for nowadays is an overall just decent unit. Not bad by any means. He has a decent damage output, Frenzy 2, more damage to weakened and slowed enemies, and also an 80% SP boost with slow, which is kind of a rarity in terms of stat elements, and also weakening combined. He has an overall good visual set, in my opinion. I actually do like this character. But if you do pull him, unless you're a massive Esnot fan, you're going to kind of struggle in ways to use him, I think. But yeah, that's basically the banner in a nutshell. There's some other news to quickly go over for those that aren't aware. Burn the Witch Halloween characters, and likely that also means Parasol and the previous Burn the Witch characters are scheduled to return within the week. It has been data mined into the game, so we know it is coming back. And we've known for a while now, due to the epic raid bonuses, that these characters would return. So for those that are waiting for a rerun of Burn the Witch units, now's the chance to potentially get them, at least in the coming week. In a way, these characters have gotten more value due to the fact that there is a no affiliation Senkamon tower coming out eventually. So with that in mind, any no affiliation Burn the Witch unit that you do pull, you can just take them straight into that Senkamon tower when it does get added. Speaking of Senkamon, we are finally getting some parts of the affiliation 2 tab, because starting this upcoming Thursday, on the 13th, we are going to get our first holo Senkamon quest, which is pretty exciting. Looking forward to that, but again, I won't be able to make any content on it until I get back from holiday on the 18th, so I won't be there when this Senkamon does go live. Additionally, we are also getting a 10th anniversary Brave Fest, so if anything, this might be a sign that the 10th anniversary is technically starting soon, and by that, it likely means that the upcoming mid-month is going to be titled a 10th anniversary celebration summit, or otherwise, I like to call it a 10th anniversary prelude banner. Again, the actual 10th anniversary doesn't start until like July 23rd. But I guess it's cool that Kenpachi and Grammy are being returned together in a Brave Fest banner, where you are guaranteed one of the two of your choice on step 20, but we already know how this goes. It's bait. They're going to come back during the 10th anniversary as fillers. They weren't worth pulling when they had their individual Brave Fest banners, and while this is technically better because they're together, it doesn't make much of a difference. Just don't pull on this banner, regardless of what the fillers are. But I think that pretty much covers up all the news that we did yesterday over on Brave Souls. Hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I'll see you guys next time. Take care, and peace.